Hey everybody, and welcome to my new YouTube series, Moves That Every Intermediate Should Know or Learn. For episode number 14, and today's focus, we have this double toss and wheel plane using single rotation tosses. This is a great first move to jump into the world of tossing your poi. The toss that you're going to be using with both hands is very simple to start, and the pattern resets on both sides of your body. We'll break it down starting off with one hand. Let's jump right in. Starting off in a reverse wheel plane position, we'll have our right hand poised spinning reverse towards us, and we'll make sure that we have a right angle at our armpit connecting our torso and arm. Once postured correctly, we'll take that spin in our right hand and we'll slow it down to a pendulum that will sway to 180 degrees in line with our arm. We're going to watch this pendulum and where the poi head sways to. When it sways away from your elbow and out to a 180 degree line in line with your arm, like so, is when we're going to release the poi for a toss. When we release that poi for the toss, when our arm is out at 180 degrees, we're going to use our thumb to push downward on the handle. When we do this, we leave our arms straight and flick our wrist, and this should have the poi return back to where our hand is already resting to catch the poi after the toss, like this. After catching, return to your pendulum position, where you'll repeat the toss over again. Try this for a few rotations, catching back into pendulum and retossing while pressing your thumb down to get used to the motion of throwing. After practicing the motion a few times using the pendulum, we're then going to kick the pendulum up into a full static spin, and we'll make our toss from there instead, like so. This time when we catch, instead of going into pendulum like we did before, we're going to kick our poi forward using the momentum of the toss into a forwards wheel plane spin. Now let's take a look at the same move with our left hand. We're going to check our torso and arm and make sure they create a right angle at our armpit. Enter a pendulum that sways 180 degrees with our arm. Press our thumb downward and toss the poi in front of us to catch it back in our hand. We'll work this back down into a pendulum for now. Once we're comfortable again with our left hand, we'll repeat the same process, this time catching into our forward spin like we did at the end of our right hand drills. Now let's take a look at both hands at once. We're going to practice starting with one hand. For me, that will be my right hand out front, and we're going to toss it from its reverse spin out in front of us into its forward spin. From there, we're going to let it pendulum so that both poi are in reverse again. Then we're going to switch and hit the same process with our left hand, tossing and catching into a forward spin that hits a pendulum, setting us back into our home position. Repeat this process a few times until you feel comfortable with each hand individually moving through the pattern while the other hand is maintaining its spin. Now let's try with both hands. We're going to toss our right hand, and as we're catching it, we're going to toss our left hand immediately afterwards. From our forward spin, we'll hit a double pendulum and toss again in split timing. We'll always be tossing our hand that is facing the camera or our front side hand. For me right now, this is my right hand side. One more time, I'm going to toss the right poi, and as I'm catching the right poi in my right hand, the left poi will release for its toss. Let's jump into what the final result of the pattern will look like. We're going to start off with our wheel plane double toss, taking us into our forward spin and wheel plane. Our right hand is our front hand and the one that's facing towards the camera right now. We're going to take that right hand and drop it for an extension across our bottom so that our hands are split. Then we're going to take our left hand and drag it through the same pendulum across our bottom to end up in a reverse spin on the other side of our body, where we can repeat the double toss, taking us into a forward spin, and we can once again drag those pendulums across the front side of our body, starting with our front hand, our left this time, following with our right into the position that we started in. Okay, everybody, that about sums up this week's episode of Moves That Every Intermediate Should Know or Learn. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, my name's Connor. This has been a Flow on Fire tutorial, and I'll catch you next time.